You did everything right. Great product, shipped inventory into Amazon, designed the listing, launched your ads. You're at $50,000 all in. But Amazon is killing you anyways. And it's not because of your ads or your pricing or even your pictures. It's your words. But here's what no one tells you. The problem isn't that your copy is bad. The problem is that it's speaking the wrong language entirely. Winners lead with pain language, the emotional language your customers actually use to describe what they're feeling right now. Losers lead with facts. And if you're doing $50,000 Amazon launches that flatline, you're almost certainly playing the loser's game. I'm Sean Farrington, and after writing copy for over 2,100 Amazon launches, here's what I've discovered. You can have the best product in your category and still sit at 4,700 BSR, while a mediocre knockoff hits a win at 832. Because quality doesn't sell on Amazon. Desire does. The Amazon algorithm doesn't care about your specifications. It cares about one thing: keeping humans on the platform and getting them to purchase. So if you're writing copy that celebrates the product instead of celebrating how the customer will feel after buying it, you're already losing. In fact, the first 5 seconds after your customer lands on your listing, shoppers need to feel recognized, like you understand what they're going through. It's not about what they're buying, it's about what they're avoiding. Once they feel that, they're yours. Because feature-first copy reads like a spec sheet. Emotion-first copy reads like a friend who gets it. Take noise-canceling headphones. Feature-first copy, advanced noise cancellation technology with 40-hour battery life, blah, blah, blah. But emotion-first copy, finally, music without the world interrupting. The first one, shoppers can scroll right on by. The second one has shoppers adding to cart. The second one made shoppers feel understood before they even knew they were being sold to. Now, most founders miss this because they don't know what pain language actually sounds like. So they guess or use industry jargon and watch their $50,000 launch disappear. And that's the difference between a failed $50,000 launch and a successful $500,000 launch. It's not better ads. It's not even better products. And that's exactly what happened with Cryo Concepts. They have a great skincare product line that sells like crazy in bricks and mortar retail like CVS, Walgreens, and Target. But on Amazon, they have flopped a $50,000 launch. They'd followed guru advice. They had their whole marketing team on the job. But instead of hearing ringing cash registers, all they heard was crickets. And when we started working together, we took a deep dive into their positioning. And that was the problem. They were using retail shelf marketing in a cutthroat Amazon jungle. One of the early moves we made was to uncover the pain and then keep it in the shopper's face. Simply saying things like, enjoy flawless, tag-free skin fast. Then we kept that positioning alive in video and images and ad creative, and yes, in the copywriting. And they went from a failed launch with zero sales to $68,000 in 28 days. And from there to over $240,000 a month, and they're still growing right now. But here's the good news. You don't need to be a copywriter. Your customers already wrote your best winning copy. They just put it in someone else's listings, in the reviews. That's where real language lives. Because reviews are unfiltered emotional truth. Real people using their own words, their own metaphors, describing what they actually felt when they bought. But here's the thing most brands get wrong about this. It's not the 5-star reviews you need. It's the reviews where customers are explaining why they almost didn't buy. The objections they had to overcome. That's where the emotions get honest. What they were actually afraid of. What they were trying to avoid. What they needed to feel better about. When you read over 100 of those reviews across your top 5 competitors, patterns emerge. Finally stops aching. No more embarrassment. Peace of mind I didn't expect. My confidence came back. Those phrases don't belong on a feature list. They belong in your headlines. Because your customers are already telling you exactly what to say. You're just not listening. But here's what I see kills most Amazon listings. Speaking 2 different languages at once. For example, your images scream product. Your bullets scream specs. Your A+ content screams something else entirely. And shoppers, they buy someone else's product. So take your fact-focused, feature-heavy copy and layer in pain and desire language. Your puppy won't crash because of bad readouts. No more cleaning red wine off of expensive carpets. Ease big emotions with gentle, weighted hugs. Once you have those emotional hooks, then make every element say the same thing. Your images, your bullets, your A+ content, your videos all need to speak the same emotion-first language. So for these candles, research uncovered that the number one buying trigger was nostalgia. In this case, for Christmases past. Once we uncovered that truth, it came alive in the bullet headlines. Fill the air with Christmas nostalgia. Then that lived front and center in the other images and all the other visual content. But there's a second layer to this that most people miss entirely. Heat map data shows that words on images outperform lifestyle photos by 2 to 3x conversion. When you align image copy, bullet copy, and A+ content and images around the same pain theme, humans notice. But so does Amazon, because the algorithm doesn't just reward better conversion signals. It actually starts going to work for you by scooting your product to the front of the line with a rank lift. That's what happened to Randy. His listing was buried at 30,000 BSR. The product was solid. That wasn't the problem. What changed is we moved away from algorithm-focused writing and started writing to the person behind the click. The result? Page 1 ranking in 24 hours. If you want to audit your listing against this framework right now, we've got a free tool that shows you exactly which copy blocks are killing your conversion right now. And it might even be hiding behind that feature language that no customer actually cares about. Download the free conversion rate audit below. I'll show you exactly which copy blocks are winning and which ones are killing your conversion rate. I'll put the link below because look, I want to prove something to you really quick. Over the past 100 days, go through your recent purchases, specifically anything over a few $100. Now ask yourself, did logic cause that purchase or was it an emotion? If you're like me, here's what you're going to find. You're going to find that there was something about the product that you desired. There was an emotional attachment to it. Then only after that emotional decision was made, you went about finding the logical reasons to buy. Let me give you a real example. I was standing in line at the Home Depot the other day, in one of those key-making kiosks, and I'm watching the person in front of me and I'm thinking, why are they even there? What's the emotional reason they're making the purchase of a key? They got locked out of their house again, and they didn't want to be the guy climbing through the window one more time. That's the emotion. For me, my wife's key wasn't working in the lock. She'd been hounding me for a week to get out and get it fixed, and rightfully so. That was my emotional trigger. The pressure, the frustration, wanting to solve her problem. But here's the thing. Neither of us walked into that store thinking about specifications. We didn't care about the metallurgy of the key blank or the precision of the cutting machine. We didn't need a feature list. We already knew we needed a key. What we needed was enough emotional energy to go out and buy it. And that's where most Amazon copy gets it wrong. Your listing is giving shoppers the features, the specs, the details, but you're skipping the part where you actually draw out their emotional attention. But here's what most Amazon sellers get backwards. They think they're competing against the algorithm. They're not. They're competing against humans. And the algorithm is just keeping score. Amazon's algorithm does one thing. It keeps humans on the platform and gets them to purchase. That's it. So the shortcut isn't to out-optimize the algorithm. It's to focus on exactly what the algorithm is already focusing on, an actual human being, a real person with emotions and real reasons for buying. Because here's the truth everyone misses. Shoppers don't buy details. They buy because of how your copy makes them feel. But here's the secret that top copywriters know. Emotions aren't abstract. For example, first is status elevation. People want to move from one status state to another. They want to be better than they were yesterday. Maybe it's the parent who wants to be seen as more organized and more put together and more capable. Maybe it's the professional who wants to signal competence and authority in their field. Status isn't shallow, it's human. And when you can tap into that desire to level up, you unlock purchase intent. The second is pain relief. And I don't just mean physical pain, though that matters. I also mean psychological pain, stress, frustration, the pain of wasting time, the pain of feeling behind, the pain of not having a solution that works. When someone buys your product, they're often buying their way out of something they're suffering through. The third is embarrassment avoidance. This one is powerful because people rarely say it out loud, but it's there. The person standing in line at Home Depot getting that key made, maybe they've been locked out of their house again and they don't want to be the person climbing through the window another time. Now, because I don't want you to suffer with a $50,000 launch that failed, especially if the solution is as simple as fixing your copy, here's what you do. Go read your competitors' reviews. Look at those reviews through this lens. Search for language around status change. Look for complaints about pain. Notice what people are trying to avoid. Don't guess at emotions. Let your customers tell you what they actually feel. That's where your copy comes from. That's where seven-figure sales come from. And that's what the algorithm is built to detect. The paradox is resolved. Quality products do fail on Amazon when they're packaged with quality language instead of desire language. The fix isn't better ads or a price drop. It's rewriting your copy to speak to what your customers actually feel. So if you want to fix your copy today, here's the fastest path. Find your top 5 competitor ASINs in your category, read 100 plus reviews across those competitors, and extract that pain language: fear, relief, aspiration, status shift. Rewrite your second image and bullets and A+ content to lead with that pain language, not your product features. Then audit that copy against that emotion first framework using the free tool in the description. But here's one problem I'm seeing right now. Too many brands are marketing on Amazon in parts and pieces, but the best brands have systems that work together to grow and scale with speed and profitability. That's why I created this video right here, to take you behind the scenes and show you how this works with real brands and real numbers. So click that video right there and I'll pull back the curtain.